full-blown Rolex lover boy.
Citizen lover. Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs. Not another episode of Bobby Legs. Let's watch. What am I talking about? Another stream. Tuesday night. Well, actually, it's Wednesday night. Watch talk. Yesterday, I was not feeling it. I was just a little bit under the weather, but I'm feeling 100% today, or 99.9999%. And I am joined this evening by my boy 911 Dan. Dan, how are you this evening? What's up?
All right, doing good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still honeymooning over this
Ooh,
Weiss.
baby.
Still
Let's go
honeymooning.
solo. Oh, yeah.
Been wearing it like basically a week straight.
That is cool, man. So this is your first foray into a manual wine movement. And
Yep.
what's the verdict?
So I thought I would hate it because it was like, oh, I'm gonna forget to, wind it up.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be annoying. I don't wear it to sleep. I know some people like to wear watches to sleep, which I think is bizarre. So I put it on the nightstand, and then when I wake up, before I put it on, I just give
Yeah.
it like a dozen wines, and it's topped up, and it's good for the rest of the day. I thought it was going to be awkward and cumbersome, but it's pretty intuitive.
Yeah. No, I love manual wine. I actually prefer them.
Yeah.
Even though at the moment I think I only have one, my Panerai. But I had at one point maybe about three or four in my collection, and I kind of like it. It's just like a nice little moment you have on a daily or every other day basis with the watch. I just love the ratcheting sound of it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I'm glad you've taken it to. Will you now consider other manual wine watches in the future, or you just happy with one?
I think I still prefer automatic.
Yeah.
What's funny is I do this thing when I walk upstairs. I like vigorously move my arms to like wind up an automatic, and I find myself doing that wearing this, and I'm like, oh wait, that does nothing. Like when I go upstairs, I'm like,
Yeah. What I love about like manual wine movements is that I feel like the service intervals are fewer than automatics, right? I mean, there's
see,
less parts. No.
this is this is okay. So it depends on how you're using it,
Hmm.
but if let's say this is your only watch, and it's like a Panerai that's pretty water resistant and stuff, I would want to change those O-rings on the crown pretty regularly because
Okay.
just turning it every
Mhm.
day is just going to have that extra
Okay.
friction every day. I
Okay.
think that's it's something that I'm like it's in my head. Like
Yeah.
this Weiss
Okay.
is 100 meters also, but it doesn't have a screw-in crown obviously because it's a manual. But I'm thinking like if I wear this like a lot. I mean, once it gets into rotation, it won't get worn
Hmm.
that frequently, but if it was my only watch and winding it every day, I'd be like, is those O-rings still good after 2 years? I'd be
Yeah.
like, maybe I want to change that O-ring, like,
Yeah. I got you.
yeah,
Um, I'm wearing my chicken watch tonight.
Citizen, nice.
My Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, awesome. Still loving it. Feels so
Yeah.
light on the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
I just love looking at the dial. Um, yeah, it's a great watch, and I love the dial, and feels great. And I'm not really too worried about banging into things, kinda. I mean, like, I know it has like a protective surface, and that is good for a little bit. I mean, like, if a deep scratch I know will obviously probably do some damage to it, and I got a lot of like stuff around the house that could do that, like a fireplace, a
Mm-hmm.
stone fireplace, and a lot of brick
Yeah.
inside the house. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
got to be mindful of it, but it's awesome. I love it. Um, what do you say? Let's say hello to the chat. See who's here.
Sounds
Hey,
good.
Rob. Mountain Standard Time is here. How are you? Chaz from the Berg. The only thing better than a Tuesday night watch talk is Wednesday night watch talk. See you, Dan. Brownie's here. What's going on? How you doing? We're in the world time tonight. B Dev is here. What's up, B Dev? How you doing, sir? Brett is here. What's up, Brett? Um, Justin is strapped in. Zen Master is here. Grayside is a really sweet piece. Yes, it is. Bill K, how are ya? Hey, James Duffy, party people. Yes, in the house. We are in the house, the party people. Jeffrey Deach, go Celtics. Series is tied 1-up. I think they're probably playing tonight, maybe.
Is that finals?
Yeah, the finals against the Warriors they're playing. Keith is here. AZ Clayton, what is up? How are you? I got a little skip to my Lou over here. Wilson, what is going on? Caliber YQG, hello. James is still honeymooning with his Corona Tokyo Shiro. Need to switch it up soon, though. Mez9, what is up? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Greg S is here. How are you, sir? Steve is here. Wayben's here. How you doing? Chris from the Watch Lounge. Peep still wearing the PRX. Such a great watch. I have the Green Dial Powermatic 80 PRX in, and man, it just feels more luxurious than what the price the MSRP is for sure.
Yeah.
Detroit Spartan, love crispy manual wine movements. Who doesn't? Hey BJ, what's going on? Service intervals. You guys don't own watches long enough to even worry about that. Well, look, I've had my Panerai since 2007, 2008, and I still haven't had it serviced.
Your GP's been almost as long too, right?
Well, my GP, I got it serviced a couple years ago, but that's automatic.
Right, but I mean, you've had it long.
Oh yeah. The only
years.
reason, and it was keeping good time. The only reason why I got it services was the date wheel was changing at 6 o'clock, not at the 12 o'clock. The date. So I was like, okay. I mean, I gotta send that in. Something's not right.
Mhm.
But other than that, it was keeping time fine. Hey, Canadian watch monkey. I love the ETA 6497, 6497, and 6498. I love them too. Yours, what does yours have? Because it's a 38, right? Millimeter case diameter, so it's probably not
This
as
is a
ETA.
42.
Oh,
This is
42.
a 42.
Oh, okay.
So Cameron calls it his caliber 1003. So its general architecture is based on a 6497, but he made some changes to it.
Why did I think you had a 38 millimeter? Okay, my bad.
Nah, I can pull off a 42.
Oh yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, Sam's here. How you doing, Sam? What's going on? James's damn y'all got me looking at chicken watches too. It is derailing the secret plans for my next big purchase. What? Hey, Bobby, what's going on? How are you? Nice to see you here. Steve is here, Mr. Cassioke. How are you? And yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, look, I've been in a good place lately, Dan. I wanted to share with you. I've had some recent watches that joined the collection. The Chicken Watch, right? Affectionately called the Chicken Watch, the Citizen, as it's called. And I've had a couple of Seiko divers that have kind of scratched the itch. Not like in the real affordable range, like a Seiko 5 or a Turtle or a Samurai, but more in the 62 Mas and a 68 reissue style. And they've been scratching an itch that I've had for a while, I think, and I'm in a good place. And you know how I know I'm in a good place? Because I'm not really, at least for the last like week or so, I haven't been hunting. I haven't been really looking on like eBay or some of the other sites. I mean, I'll take a casual look, but I'm not going down rabbit holes or spending hours just surfing for stuff. So I think I'm in a good place with my collection at the moment. It could be just a product of getting like 2 or 3 watches in all at once, and so now I'm rotating through it, so it's keeping my attention that way. That could also be it. But it's refreshing to be in this space because I'm not like obsessed with looking, for the next one.
Yeah.
Any familiarity with that? I mean, have you ever been in that kind of like position, or are you just not obsessive or?
I think I'm a little bit opposite right now because I went to go reorganize the watch box, and I was like, "Whoa, where did all these watches come from?" I was like, I have too many. So I mean,
Yeah.
granted, I bought a bunch of G-Shocks, but I did buy a lot of watches this year. I bought the Cocktail Time, the Turtle, the Bulgari,
Yeah.
the Weiss. Like it's a lot. I was just like, okay, time to slow down. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Hey, Deb.
Hey guys,
And
how's
look
it
who is
going?
here. Our friend Dib. Hey Dib, what's going on, man? Are you looking for any good deals? Anything?
That's always. That doesn't change.
What do you got on wrist today, buddy?
I got the Zenith A384 Revival,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
decent watch. Kind of like it.
yeah, yeah.
What color are the subdials on that one?
It's all black. It's a reverse panda
You want to
Okay.
show it up for Dib? Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
with a red second hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Need to add some hair on the stream. Yeah, there you go. We got some hair.
That's why I buttoned up because I don't want to get all the ladies enticed or the
Oh,
fellas grossed out. Who knows?
Yeah. That's the one thing. Like I just have like a little chest hair right here.
Mhm.
I'm like 20 years older than you, Deb, and I still like don't have any like much hair on my
Yeah.
body.
Unfortunately, I was born in a family of bears, so
Yeah.
now you can't unsee that. Like
No,
it's in your head
like
now.
like now I'm thinking like Goldilocks with Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and little Dib Bear. She's going in there into the house and eating all the porridge. Anyway, let's get going here. Dib, I'm glad that you're here because you as a Seiko fan, there was some releases today, and let's talk about those and get your thoughts and Dan's, of course. Let me share my screen. And so right off the bat, uh, Seiko 5 comes out with a GMT. What do you guys think about this? This was an odd release in my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I'll let you go first. Deb.
Dib?
I think it's a home run, just because what's it priced at $500-$600, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, even with a brand new Seiko, you can always get a discount, and then eBay retailers get those in their hands. So this case has been here forever, right? The SKX case. It doesn't have a screw down. It's 100 meters water resistant, but at the end of the day, it just adds a functionality at a price point where you don't see a lot of GMTs from Seiko. At least I think this is probably their first like modification of the 4R movement to include a GMT.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a Jubilee bracelet, and I'm sure it will have hollow end links, not solid. Going by Seiko's track record, I think it's a hit. Like especially with the modding community.
Mhm.
Like they have like people have a lot of ideas as to what they want their watch to be, and this just gives people options. I think that at the price point, it's a good watch. Now again, like we can go into that whole argument of hard legs versus sapphire crystal, but it really doesn't like bother me a lot. It's just one of those bragging rights. I have a V8 versus you having an inline 4, stuff like that.
Right, right. And like and you mentioned modding. I mean, people are going to throw sapphire crystal on this anyway. It's not really a too difficult thing to do. I've done it.
Oh,
Dan,
yeah.
what are your thoughts?
It's obvious. It's like a easy watch.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm bidding on something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I won.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
So I mean, it's it's kind of like same old colors that everybody uses. It will be a commercial hit because it's something that people I think are thirsting for. You know, a simple entry level Seiko GMT. But I don't know. It's not. This is not for me. This is, I mean, I don't have any, I don't love this, but I don't hate it. It's just kind
Yeah.
of, it's just there.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I just didn't. I didn't know that there was like a desire or a need, or people were asking for this. But
Mhm.
I guess it makes sense, to have a GMT at this price point in the Seiko 5 series. So I guess it's fine. I just, it's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I mean, I think there's so many other places you can go for a good quality GMT, not too far off from this price point. But
Like
okay,
what? I mean, for
you
500
know,
bucks.
like
So let's say street price is going to be 400, right?
yeah, and look, I mean, you're probably right. Look, you're probably right for the price point. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, like, I would probably maybe spend a couple of $100 and maybe even like think about it like a Steinhardt or a Squale, instead of this. But that's just me. What's great about this, however, is the upside with the modding, and if you're into that, you can put that sapphire crystal in here. You can switch out the bracelet if you want, and
Mhm.
then maybe you could still keep that price point lower than a Squale or a Steinhardt. But then now you're also moving into maybe a better class of movement with a couple $100 more with a Squale or Steinhardt with an ETA or a Salida, you know. Um, anyway, I mean, I'm just random thoughts here. I'm not really, I don't really have a horse in this, so it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I mean, like, if you wanted an affordable GMT, it looks like you have it here. And plus you have, glycine and micro brands like Sam is saying here. So, yeah,
Mm,
I mean, look, I
no.
mean, I'm not knocking it, the release. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
It's
Like,
not
I
for
just,
us. It's not for
yeah,
us.
it's not for us, and
Yeah.
and frankly, like I was like surprised because I don't know. Like I said, I mean, there were really people clamoring for a Seiko 5
Oh,
GMT.
this is gonna be a huge seller. Huge seller.
I mean,
You're probably right.
honestly, I'll pick one up.
Yeah.
Now, do I want to get it now? No.
Hmm.
I'll wait for the Black Friday Macy's sale. I think that's where Seiko 5s really shine. So if
Yeah.
this is 500, you get 30% off.
Yeah.
At that price point, I don't think there's any competition to it. Like,
No.
No. You.
if you can pick it up for a very good price, which you
Yeah.
Yeah.
will, like if you really want something, an affordable GMT, or somebody just getting into, the whole watch, and I hate to use this word, community.
No, this is
Uh,
a great beginner watch, and like,
yeah,
if this was your first watch, I would keep it because it's still cool. Like, it's not something I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna throw it away. I graduated from that. I would be like, yeah, I'd keep this.
Gotcha. Kevin S is saying, I think these look far better than any Steinhardt or Squale. I'm a Seiko
Yeah.
5 collector, but great entry level watch. Yeah, I mean, you look, it's a matter of style and taste for sure. Great for new collectors. Oh, Chris, thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat here. Shout out, because I come here to learn about a lot of different brands, hobbies, all about learning new things. Cheers, Bobby. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it, my good friend. I don't think Bobby has any idea as to how well these will. No.
Yeah.
I think they will sell really great.
yeah, they will sell
Yeah.
very well.
They're gonna
It's
be
different
huge.
strokes, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't even in my radar thinking, though. You know what I mean?
Well,
Until I saw this.
actually, this was leaked, I think 4 or 5 months ago. Like, if you
Okay.
Oh yeah.
really, yeah, I knew about it at least. I think in
Uh-huh.
Feb. I think I saw a
Okay.
leak. So, and the best part about, like, if we are just looking at the positives and ignoring the negatives, because we'll come to those. It's Seiko, right? We can't ignore that. There's gonna be 50,000 limited editions.
Yeah.
Somebody falling off the roof, or like you climbing Mount Matterhorn or something, like different
Yeah.
dial colors. So
Yeah.
that gives people options. The
Yeah.
downside is there's too much options. Yeah.
Yeah.
9,999 is not a limited release. You know. So
I hope at least this is like friction based. I don't know if we know yet, or if it mentions here in an article, and not like do
The bezel?
120 click. Yeah, the bezel. Like if they do 120 click bezel on this, like how some of the Squale and the Steinharts do, which is very disappointing. Yeah, that'd be a bummer. Like if it's friction
So
based
what,
at
you-
least,
So
or
you're
like you
you prefer
or
a
20
48 click?
or 48 click or 24, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
just as long as it's not 120,
Mm.
I think it'll be great. I just
Yeah.
hope they just don't do that. They're probably going to do 120 click though. It's
I
probably
Yeah, it
think
doesn't
the
bother
best
me.
thing for Seiko would be if it was a frictionless bezel. That
Right.
way, you can't complain, or I can't complain that it's misaligned, because
Yep,
that's going to
that's
happen.
true.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
You can't
that's true.
misalign it.
That's true. So hopefully they smarten up and that's what they do. Sam is saying you could probably get this half price in a few months,
Yeah.
of course. BDev, you can buy a Bernhard Corsair GMT for $689 with an ETA 2836.
I don't even know what
Yeah.
that is.
So
Yeah.
look, if you're looking for like something with a Swiss movement, you have to spend a little bit more. But it's hard to compete. It really is hard to compete with Seiko with this one. And I don't have any illusion that it's going to sell well. Of course it is. I just, like I said, up to like yesterday, I didn't know this was even a thing. And I understand that some of these this has been leaked, as you mentioned, Dib, and I think Watch Chris, who did a video on it, said that it was leaked as well when I watched it earlier today, but I had no idea. Alan saying, I think the Dress KX crowd will want to add this GMT Zerline. Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
So like if you're into the SKX5, the Seiko, the Seiko 5 here series, you're gonna add this. You probably have multiple,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You probably have the field watch looking one, the diver one, different colors. Community, right? How do you set the GMT? Are we gonna get into this?
I didn't look into it.
It's just like a Celita 330. So you turn one way, the date turns the next.
Yeah.
It's not independent. Like, I mean,
Right.
it's at a price point, right? So
Right, exactly. Yeah. I know. A friend of ours got triggered by the term "true GMT."
Yeah.
Orange Scream
Yeah,
Summer Watch.
it's either a traveler or office GMT. Like
Right.
they're both true GMTs.
honestly, I have 2 GMT watches, and I don't even set it to the time I want to. I like it. That
I mean, you have a reason to, because you.
I have a reason
set
to,
the
but
times
I'm super lazy.
Yeah, I like. I have a UTC. My Zen is a UTC. So it's basically keeps a second time zone. I have it set to a time zone that I'd like to keep track of, but it's like I mean, yeah, I like the idea of having a travel watch. Put it that way. Okay, so not the only Seiko release, right? We also have a couple of, I guess, reissues, sort of. These Seiko, the thinnest Prospect thinnest dive watches. Most of these divers on the Prospects line are over 13, right? This one is just under 13, and I gotta tell you, I really like this one. I like them. I like them all, right?
Yeah.
Really interesting bracelet, right? We haven't seen this, and I mean, maybe Seiko has done it in the past, but I haven't seen it. I really like this one on here on the left.
I like the white one.
You like the white one, Dib? Do you have a preference here?
I like the gilt one.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Group watch.
Yeah. I mean, I could see myself definitely picking up one of these. I'll wait till after the release and people get all excited about it, and then I'll
Oh,
wait till it comes down in price. But
guys,
this is good looking, man. I
I
like that.
think I think we have big news. If you look at the
Uh-oh.
chat, Keith is saying the white dial seems like the perfect watch for me. So there might
Oh
be a
boy.
Keith purchase this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, finally,
Oh
Keith, huh?
boy.
Let's get to the
You,
white dial.
yeah, you
There it
can't beat
is.
that. That's the best news I've heard. Now I'm not going to finish that sentence because it's just going to turn ugly or dirty.
um, Alan's saying these are gonna give my Captain Willow a run for the money. If they do a green, I'm screwed. That white one is stunning. You know that this is not the end of it, right? With these colors, right? They're
Oh
gonna
no,
come
of
out with a
course not.
bunch of other
And
colors for sure.
Oh
to
yeah.
add, if this white is anything like the SPB 213, that was the one with the 63 mass. That wasn't exactly white. It was more
Mm,
silvery white. So
yeah.
it had a big silvery tinge on it. So if it's
Yeah.
like that, I'd say the combination with that black bezel would be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Kevin S. In the same vein as the 63 mouse reissues, going back for some classic Seiko diver designs with some updates. Yeah, yeah, and I think this has the new 6R35 movement, so it's going to have the bump up on the power reserve. Not cheap, right? At the moment, I mean at MSRP, and we know that Seiko does some discounting, but I think these are over.
It's gonna
Um,
be around $5,000.
yeah, I mean like 950 euro, right? And
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
guess
be
that's
around
for the
$5,000.
rubber.
Yeah.
So 1150. Yeah, so over $1,000 US on both of those.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, yeah, and you may be able to, who knows, one day you'll see them in Sakura for about 25% off or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing is, looking at, I mean, how Watch Recon is. I mean, looking at Reddit or WatchSeek or any of the forums, this inflationary bubble that we had in the last year or so, prices are dropping like a rock.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So a diver which was $1,200, you can pick it up for 800 on the used market.
Absolutely.
Like like especially if you don't mind, like, and there are many people, like who buys watches like me.
Yeah.
I bought a blacked out Seiko diver, had it for 3 days, and then I decided, you know what, I don't want it, and it's in mint condition.
Yeah.
But like the prices have dropped so much. I'm like, do I want to sell it or just keep it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I'm feeling that too, Dib, because I have that ice diver, the blue ice diver, the SPV 179, and I thought I got a pretty good deal from it on off of eBay. And now it didn't turn out to be what I expected, and so I have it up on WatchSeek and on eBay and like 0 bites, and I think I have it at a fairly competitive price, at least the lowest on eBay as far as I can tell. But just no interest, and I think especially some of these like Seiko divers, and a lot of other models and brands, you're seeing a price drop, and we can get into that as well after we talk about new releases. But definitely seeing uh, some interesting price action with watches. Keith, we are going to hold you to that. So I think we have, a lot of duets, for sure. Something for Keith to keep thinking about. The whiteout is a standing. Yeah, look at that, and I bet you that bracelet's going to be fantastic. I mean, who knows about the clasp? Probably
How do you
be a.
guys feel about the 430 date?
I
I
don't
don't
mind
mind
that.
it.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
I like it.
Um, it's kind of interesting because it's circle, right?
Mhm.
It's a little circle. So I don't know how often I've seen that on a Seiko diver, right?
Probably the only negative is it's a little bit hard to read.
Yeah, I could see that with the white. Let's see.
Well, just because it's so small. The
Right.
font is so small.
Yeah, it's like the Zen 556, I think.
I
I
think
mean, it's okay.
I think you could pick it up. I could pick it up better on the black dials as opposed to the white dials, but not a deal breaker. I think it's cool.
No, no.
Um, okay. Let's see here. Hey, Torrens here. Love the white turtle. Yep, great size on that. I think this is going to be a hit too.
Yep.
Mr. Casio, I do like the Bell and Ross round date matched date window. Okay.
I
Neff
hope
not a
this is a
fan of it.
trend for Seiko going forward, like thinner divers.
Thinner divers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a full
Yeah, I mean, like,
millimeter.
why not? I mean, this is a 200-meter diver. I mean, do you need to go
Yeah.
over 13, for it?
Yeah, it's a full millimeter thinner than my king turtle. So
Right. Date window's inconspicuous. Peter likes the date placement.
yeah, so do I.
Yeah. The upright date is also good. Yeah, I like the upright date.
Yeah.
One less thing from Pete from Not So Obvious Watches to gripe about. Hey, where's he
Yeah.
been lately? I haven't seen him on our streams in a little bit. Maybe he's on holiday. So is this going to be the baby tortoise? Maybe Sapphire Crystal too on this. Yeah, no, this is going to
Yeah,
be.
this is
I'm
a
Yes.
higher
sign
end
me up.
prospects diver.
Yeah,
Yeah, SPD.
sign me up when these. If I can get it, I'll wait till there's some discounts. Sign me up. I'll get the one with the strap, the rubber strap for sure. Okay, moving on. Any other new releases that we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about that new Grand Seiko? I mean, I know it's not
The
new,
quartz. Yeah,
but it's been, at least in some of the circles that I'm around, a really popular release. Dib, you like this one, right?
I'll be traveling in a month or two. I think I'll get one if it's still available at that time from
Really?
from a boutique. Yeah, I think I'm close to pulling the trigger, and I hate to use that word.
Yeah. This is a limited piece, though, right? I
It
mean,
is limited, but it's 2,000 pieces.
2000. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
And at the end of the day, if you look at Chrono 24,
Yeah.
they're already discounted by $200-300. Now like
This
you
one?
need, yeah,
Wow.
3650 on Chrono 24. I mean, it says you need to contact us before you buy it, obviously because they need to source the watch. But
Yeah.
it's a quartz piece. Like if you hold on, you'll probably get a discount. If not, this is full retail almost everywhere in the planet. But it's a very nice watch with a 44 GS case. With their fancier quartz movement. I think the price is good. In the grand Seiko scheme of things, I'm not saying $3,800 is cheap, but
Yeah. What's so special? I mean, I know a lot of people comment about the 44 GS case. What is it so special about that case? What do you like about it so much, Dib?
I like the intricacy. I mean, the polished lugs. So like I have a 44 GS case, Blue Bounty Water. So like if you see the bezel, it goes down like this. So it really, I mean, if you look at it from the side, it really creates a very nice contour. I mean, very nice shape. I mean, you can just look at it all day. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite watches. Like now mine is a bit thicker because mine is the high beat GMT. That the advantage to this watch is I think it's just above 10, like 10.2 millimeters. Plus, I'm not really keen on the display back. I don't really want to see a quartz back, but it gives people options.
Yeah.
I
And
like
this,
this display back.
yeah, exactly. Like, so you like it. I don't care for it. I mean, if it's there, it's there. If not, it's not a big deal. But, like they don't do display casebacks on the 9F movement watches a lot.
No,
I think
only anniversary. Only
yeah,
anniversary.
only anniversary pieces. What was Sanjay's one? SB GV243, I think. The
Yeah.
two-tone. That one had a display case back. So yeah, I mean it's a winning formula. I mean that dial is hot right now.
Yeah.
I think Grand Seiko hit a home run with this watch, even though it's quartz. I mean, given the amount of positive feedback that Grand Seiko is getting on this piece, it's a winner.
Mm.
And Grand Seiko has a tendency of releasing a couple of, a lot of watches, not a couple.
Yeah.
you know.
1105. Not a big fan of Grand Seiko. Dan, what do you think about this one?
I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Yep. I think if you want to be one of the first ones to get it, obviously you're not going to be able to get a discount. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think those guys on Chrono are not going to be able to source those watches unless they have a really, really good relationship. Yeah, I mean they're going to make what, maybe like $100 or $200. It's like not even worth it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if this was titanium, it would really, really tempt me. Yeah, I love it. I think the color is good.
Mm-hmm.
I love this case, and the dimensions are good. And I really like high accuracy quartz. So yeah, this is a win for me.
Question, since I'm not as familiar with Grand Seiko or as knowledgeable, I mean the 44 GS case. This is a 38 millimeter watch.
40.
No,
It's bigger.
40.
Yeah.
So is this the size that GS case is in? Is it can you get it in a bigger size like a 42 or a smaller size like a 38?
As far as I know, the 44 GSKs, they don't have different sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 44 doesn't really mean anything. Like it's not like, because when I see 44 GS, I'm like, oh, that must be 44.
No, it's not the size.
It's that what's it called? Grammar design or something, like something fancy in Japanese. So
okay. Greg's saying the blue dial, great styling on the case, awesome watch. 44 GS case features more of the Zaratsu polish.
Give me a moment. I'll just bring my.
Yeah. Okay. Kevin S saying the sharp angles, great polishing, and a classic Grand Seiko grammar of design. Just saying, I see this one has 1 star, while Longines has 5 stars. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
so,
great.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if you see the case, here it is. I mean, look how defined the case is from. Look how defined the case is from the side. I mean, the last. I mean, you can literally see the back. Like
wow.
You can see the reflections on it. So
yeah.
That I mean, yes, this is a tubby case. Because it has a GMT, but this one will wear really, really, really well on the wrist because it's very thin.
Yeah.
Like I think I've owned, except the Whirlpool case, I've owned every case that Grand Seiko makes. So yeah, I mean, this is by far my favorite.
1105, not a fan of the movement.
You can just put a sticker on it, dude.
But what other quartz movement looks as good as that or better? Name a quartz movement that looks better than that.
Yeah.
I think it looked.
Justin's saying it's a wild move. He respects the hell out of that. Bracelet is too small for a 44 case. Looks like a 19 millimeter.
It's the 44 G. That's the case name. The case is a 40 millimeter.
Kevin S. He already ordered one already. Of course he did. Big Grand Seiko fan that he is. B-Devs, I just don't get GS. Every watch looks the same to me except for the dial color. Just my opinion, and maybe I'm the only one.
You could say that about a lot of brands.
Yeah, look at Rolex, GMT Master 2, subs.
Just as saying, in January, it was already declared the year of GS by Theo and Harris.
Oh, then we don't have any other thing to add.
Case closed.
Case closed. The hipsters from New York has declared it, so we're good to go.
Just wish they would loom the indices and the hands. Is that an issue for you guys here with this watch? For me, I don't need all my watches with loom. I mean, I'm perfectly fine not having a watch with loom. And this one.
So here's how I look at it, and I'm going to quote my friend Amin. he made a very valid point. So all these indices and the hands, they're polished, right?
Hmm.
So when you add lume to it, the polish that you get, that the surface essentially it gets reduced. And I have worn this watch in the night, and all it needs is a little flicker. All
Yeah.
it needs is just that little bit of light, and you can tell the time. I'm not saying there's any substitute for lume, but I in the elegant series I don't really need lume to be there. I mean, if it's there, yeah, it's good, but not a deal breaker by any means. The
I
one
agree.
thing, the one thing I would really want Grand Seiko to improve is the adjustable clasp that they use on the Seiko Astrons. So all they need to do, is retro. I mean, from that big organization, like they should know how to do that. Just to provide people that extra functionality. Like the Grand Seiko's reasoning is, we want to keep the clasp as small as possible, it so that it's not bulky. But the one on the Astron, that's not really bulky. So that would be one principal improvement zone that I would
Yeah.
hope that they focus on.
I mean, they have recently had a history of listening to their customers, so I think it's probably on the
Hopefully,
way.
yes, yeah,
That's saying that's a good thing about the 9F too. It's thinner and case should look even better on the quartz.
yeah.
Yeah.
Craig is saying, Dib, you are mistaken. The SVGW289G is a second smaller version of the 44
I
case.
stand corrected. That's the
It's the new
brand
pink one, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
the new
new
pink
pink
one.
one.
That was what, 37 millimeter, right?
No, that's a 36.
I
37.
want to see a 36 millimeter GS.
There you have it, a
There you go.
36
I
millimeter.
think they're all gone anyway, though.
Mhm.
Kevin S. saying no lume needed, especially with the way the indices reflect the light. Even in low light, they work fine for visibility. Yeah, those indices and the hands are polished to such a high finish that yeah, I mean, like Dib said, any flicker of light. Plus, it's like I said, like even with the high polish or not, um, I don't need lume in all my watches. Especially the dressier piece. I'm okay with no lume. Maybe I'm missing
I like
the point, but um, let's see here. James is saying, I love the 19 millimeter lug width on my GS High Beat GMT. Might trade down for the 36 millimeter manual wine three-hander if it wasn't pink and limited. Okay,
How
I
many
believe
points?
Citizen has a quartz movement accurate to 1 second a year. This one is actually 5 seconds a year. Seiko is 5 seconds a year. Yeah, but Citizen does have one that's right. That's accurate to 1 second a
Yeah,
year, plus or
Falco
minus.
100.
Mm.
Falco 100.
Citizen sadly is underrepresented, and I don't think they market their watches enough to
Mhm.
the outside world, especially their higher end. And using the name Citizen, the Citizen, that really doesn't work. I mean, it works
Yeah.
for Ferrari, the Ferrari, or Ferrari
Right.
La Ferrari, because it's a Ferrari, but Citizen, no. You know?
I mean, they can't be like, we're going to be called Grand Citizen, like people.
Yeah, Grand is taken. So
Yeah. Look, and maybe in Japanese, the maybe it flows nicely, and maybe it's better sounding. I don't know, and so like the translation doesn't really work in English. But it is kind of like a boring name for sure. Torrance saying just for the grab and go aspect of the nine, of course. Personally, I would like Loom to make it more sporty and robust. Okay, fair enough. Fair
no,
enough.
fair enough. And I think Grand Seiko still makes a couple of those. Or you can find the SBGB, GV 243, 245, 247, all those lying around, especially from the 2000 to 33 $400 mark, here and there from different sellers in Japan. The good thing about Grand Seiko, like it's the bad thing now, like, especially with them releasing 50 models, and then people are like, how do we concentrate on one when the next minute you turn and release another model? Is I fell into the rabbit hole of looking at Japanese auctions, and uh, you know I started researching watches. I mean, Grand Seiko, I found they have, according to plus9time.com, there's a reference there. Like you can essentially search for any Grand Seiko that was made from the mid 2000s. So there's like 924 SKUs. Now, you can obviously say that's a lot of SKUs. Why did they do so many? But there's another argument to that. It gives me options,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, the thrill is in the chase. Like me hunting down a watch, that gives me a lot of pleasure. Like finding something old. So 10 years from now, in 2030, we'll see that Grand Seiko release 10, 15 models, right? And people will have options. With the way the market is going, I mean, everybody's going up market, everybody's increasing prices. Like you can't get watches from Rolex because it's a hot ticket item. I think Grand Seiko is the antithesis of that. They give you everything, whether you like it or not. you know that's just my assessment.
Alrighty. What do you guys think about the radio compass, Bell and Ross?
I love it.
You love it,
Yeah.
No,
really?
not for me.
Why do you love it so, Dib?
Because, well, first of all, I can't wear a square Bell and Ross. It's too big for my wrist. But it's something which, the whole point of buying a luxury watch is, it's a luxury watch. Like if you want to define it as a tool watch, go ahead. But at the end of the day, it's something which we don't really need. The main reasons why we buy a luxury watch is because we want to look at it over and over again. And this is one of those dials where, I would keep looking at it, like it would keep me interested. So I would buy that in a heartbeat if I could. But skinny people problems, prevail.
Yeah. Well, I hear
think
you.
my issue with that one, the orange hand, I would confuse which way it's pointing because it extends, it touches both ends. Like at quick glance, I'd be like, oh, is it pointing at 10 or is it pointing at 4?
Now, I get it, and I had that reaction when I first saw it, but I'm like, you know what? I want to keep, I want to keep trying. I want to find out which one it is. I want to pay little bit more attention to it. That was my take on it. It's pretty cool.
So what is it then, Dib?
I like it.
No, but I
It's
mean, like,
10,
what is
pointing
it?
at 10.
It's pointing at 10. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's a cool watch. I mean, honestly, sometimes I don't even set my watch. I just like to look at it.
Fair enough. I think I'm with you on those.
Uh,
So Dib, you mentioned Japanese auctions. And I know you are always looking, and we touched about it a little bit early on about pricing. So what are you seeing in general, if you can expand on what you were saying before about pricing and where it's at, and how do you see it for the next short term?
I mean, I'm not soothsayer, but like especially with the last few months, like prices going bonkers, discounts like literally vanishing from dealers. I think that's going to end. Prices are coming down slowly and steadily. They're not. I mean, if somebody says the market is crashing, clearly they're deluded because Daytona, for example, I'm taking Rolex because that's the most popular thing on the planet. It's it's like 36,000, right? On wholesale, and 40,000. That's not the market correcting. It's just going down from that insanity where like a white Daytona touched 60 grand, I think. But in general, the brands which were riding the hype train, or like, okay, fine, we're not going to give you discounts, or like something like a Grand Seiko. I was watching Roman Schaaf's video today,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing he did say, it's a buyer's market for somebody who knows how to buy watches.
yes,
That's very
absolutely.
true. I
Absolutely.
mean, if you look at, like, if you can buy a watch and not need that money for something else, I think this is a very good time to buy watches because you can pick up watches for cheap. Well, cheaper. But I mean, deals are starting to pop up. Like for example, let's just take Grand Seiko. Grand Seiko White Birch, very hot ticket item. Like 9100 retail, people could easily buy it and sell it for 8500, easy. And losing 500 bucks for a Grand Seiko is considered good. But nowadays, you see the White Birch prices touching like seven or less than 7,000 on the used market.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're in the market for a White Birch, you don't have to deal with that problem. Now you're not going to get the discount from an AD. I'm talking about pre-owned pricing. So that's definitely there. But if you need to sell, tough luck.
Yeah. It's tough. And like I said, I was mentioning earlier, like I'm struggling a little bit selling a Seiko.
I have 7 Seikos I can't sell. I have a box full of Seikos. It's just sitting there.
So are you just gonna hold on to it, or are you gonna
I
just
paid them
lose it?
off, and I don't need the money. So it'll just sit there till the time somebody buys it.
Yeah. Bobby
I
saying
mean, you could always wait till they get discontinued, and then there's a
little bit of
the
uptick.
price goes up a little bit. Yeah.
I'm told Dib is taking Rosetta Stone in Japanese to help negotiate discounts in those Japanese forums. Sanjay ahead of the curve and breaking the White Birch Brotherhood. Yeah, we were surprised.
Dib, how do you say asshole in Japanese?
I don't know. I don't want to insult the nice people of Japan.
Oh, the Japanese are nice people?
Yeah. Right? The week yen has been great for watch buying from Japan right now. The 50% deposit for my Corona Tokyo was $300 more than the second half. When it shipped. Yeah, so like I'm with you, James. I think that definitely helped the pricing of the Citizen because I got it from Japan as well, and so I think that's helped me out. And ordering from like Sakura, I think been helped by that exchange rate for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's bad for them, but it's kind of good for us. If you're buying watches, Sakura, like the deals are insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the Alpinist that I picked up, and I paid just over 520. No, 530. Let's say rounding it up, $530. That's a $750 watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to bargain like crazy with somebody here, or you're somebody who buys a lot of watches from a particular AD. You don't have to bargain. You just pull your credit card out or pay with your PayPal. Done. So prices, and especially with Japanese sellers, are really good right now.
Yeah. So I guess to fine tune what we're saying here, although I don't know if we're actually saying it, but it sounds like we're saying it. If you want to buy watches, Japanese watches, buy Japanese watches from Japanese sellers right now.
Well, I'm going to add something where I would say buying right now should be done with more caution and with more thought instead of, oh, I like it, click, bought. That should not be the case because in this market, especially with all the financial stuff going on with inflation, you never know what's going to happen. So if you buy something, you better make sure that you can keep it for the long run and not have to flip it if something happens. That would be. I mean, that's the advice I get from people, and that's the advice I will give to people. If anybody wants to listen to me, honestly.
Bobby saying here, when there is a good deal on that Purple King Seiko come up, let me know, Dan and Deb.
I can get you 20% off right now. If that's something acceptable, we can talk about it later, Bobby.
James is saying, asking, does Sakura hold stock, or are they popping down to the shop on their lunch break? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Honestly,
they're
I
an
don't
AD.
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alan says Japanese tend to polish their pieces. At least that's been my experience. And Dan, from your experience, they don't like to buy used, right? They like to buy new, and that's maybe another reason why they
I'm
can get.
speculating. I'm speculating, but I think that is the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so my friend got a PAM recently from Japan, and he facilitated this deal through Chrono 24. He told me he had a first class buying experience because he asked us questions. Alan, for example, you said they polished their watches. So the first thing he asked was, was there a service done? Yes. Has there been any polish done to it? Like they were very upfront with the questions.
Yeah.
I know some eBay sellers have a bad reputation of not really answering our questions in time, or sometimes Google Translate is not their friend,
Mhm.
because I've seen that happen, like especially when they reply, it's 100% that, like they wrote in Japanese and then use Google Translate to send it to you. So sometimes it does get lost in translation. But again, like whether it's Japan, whether it's the US, or whether it's anywhere in the world, by the seller, you know, do some research, don't jump head in, take some time.
Kevin is saying if you want to buy new, buy local, develop relationships with local watch stores. Of course.
Exactly.
I agree.
Of course.
I agree.
I think you could do that and also buy from Japan.
I mean, there are many watches that you can only get from Japan. So you're,
right. That's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
But usually, if there's a Seiko release that I can get in the US, I will always buy from my AD instead of buying it from Japan. That's
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I only buy stuff from Japan if I don't find it here. For example, Navitimers. I like Navitimers a lot. I don't have one now. I sold mine, but I see prices on Navitimers beating anything in the western part of the world. Yeah, like it's like Japan is the best when it comes to prices for Navitimers, and they have lots of rare Navitimers come up for sale. So it's again, like buyer. I mean the seller and the location. It doesn't matter, where it's from. Like if I see that the seller has very good ratings, even if it's probably North Korea. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I'll buy it, but I'll make sure that I use a credit card which usually supports its customers.
Yeah.
I always try to use my Amex when I'm buying from overseas, because Amex has a very robust customer centric policy. Like if something goes wrong, I've had the best luck with them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, guys, we're coming up, pushing up in an hour. Anything that's on your radar, Dib? Or are you taking it slow again? Are you? I know you had mentioned that you weren't looking to buy anything new or buy anything.
I think the only one in my radar is that 9F quartz.
Yeah.
Now, again, it depends on if my boutique can source the watch for me, because I will not be buying it from this country. I have a relationship in India with my boutique. So if you can do it, yeah, I'll most likely buy it.
Yeah.
This is
Dan?
an international release, though. It's not a US release.
No, it's not a US release. So
Right,
he
yeah,
can get the
so-
watches now.
Yeah.
India is a much smaller market than the US. So
Right.
anytime, like it's like assigning watches, like, let's say the US gets 500 pieces. Like India probably gets like 5 to 10 pieces for the entire
Wow.
country. So if that quota gets filled up, I'm kind of out of luck. But if it's not, it's I can get it.
Okay.
Dan, anything you're looking at?
No, I mean I just bought something on air, but I'm done.
Do you want to share or you want to?
It was just another G-Shock.
Okay.
And that's a sickness.
That is a sickness. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it, Dan and Dib, for coming on. Chat, thanks again. You guys are the heart and soul of these streams, and I appreciate the questions and the banter. Awesome as usual. And we're signing off, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Take care. Have a good
See you
night.
guys. Bye.